Hi guys, this is your friend Ashish Janiani from motivationaldiaries.com. Thank you so much for joining me every week on our channel with all these videos that we are bringing for you. I promise you I'm going to do my best to ensure that this year you and I don't have an excuse of why we cannot take our game to the next level, and for that I have somebody very special for you today. If you are an entrepreneur or if you want to become an entrepreneur, we're going to discuss who an entrepreneur is in fact today. Then this video is for you or for those of your friends and family members who want to be on this path. Alright, just before we get into this special interview, I want to introduce who this guy is. Let me see if you can guess his name. Alright, he's the co-founder and CEO of TrueTest, a division of the Next Milestone Technologies Private Limited. TrueTest is India's first technology platform that enables corporates to access, identify and hire talent from colleges. He is also the chief mentor and CEO of People First India Limited, leaders in executive coaching and OD interventions. People First in India operates 4 key verticals: executive coaching, OD, business consulting and learning. Between 2008 and 2013, he held additional responsibility as Dean for IIFM and Executive Director for Idea Count Education, one of the top ranked educational services companies in India. Idea Count Education owns national brands such as Framebox Animation, IIFM, which is Indian Institute of Finance and Management, Pastel IP, Networks and others, and is present across close to 45 cities across India. Earlier, he has worked for banks like Standard Chartered, HDFC and HSBC, leading national and international roles. The Worldwide Speakers Bureau lists him among the top 25 leadership and behavioral change speakers globally, and consequently most of his speaking centers around leadership concepts and application. He has been awarded the Rajiv Gandhi Excellence Award and the Rajiv Gandhi Shiromani Award for outstanding individual achievement and distinguished services to nation. He is also the best-selling author of a few books that you might have heard of: Pichai, The Future of Google, and Nadela, The Changing Face of Microsoft. Please help me welcome Mr. Jagmohan Bhanver. Again, thank you so much for making this happen. Guys, I want to share with you that he's been very humble with us. He's been giving us time, and I've missed a date just because of other commitments. So first of all, genuine thank you so much for making time on this weekday in the afternoon. And I want to get really straight into it. This is my first question to you. We are talking about entrepreneurs today, and if you are an entrepreneur, please listen very carefully to what this man says. You've heard me talk about his profile. You'll hear a lot about this guy. So just listen and adapt. My first question to you is, who is an entrepreneur? Everybody who just goes into business, is that person what we call an entrepreneur today now, or there's a difference between a real entrepreneur and somebody who thinks is an entrepreneur?
Okay, so there's a lot of questions there. So my personal take on this is that an entrepreneur is a person who believes that he's an entrepreneur. So you don't have to be in business to be an entrepreneur. You could be an entrepreneur even if you are working as an employee in someone else's organization. An entrepreneur is a mindset. It doesn't happen because of who you are in business or anything else. An entrepreneur is a mindset. So for instance, I could be working in your organization as an employee, but I could have an entrepreneurial mindset. And
what would that mindset be in a couple lines?
So let me give you an example. When I started off, I moved to the banking industry in 2004, used to an environment where you had everything being done for you.
Yes.
When I started my company, it was a 2-room setup. And I remember I used to come in the morning, and if the peon hadn't come in by then, I would pick up the jhadu and I would broom the thing. I never thought about, okay, is this bad, is this good? It needs to be done, you do it. It's a very basic example of being an entrepreneur. So when I used to work in the bank, we used to be going back home in the evening and we used to see the lights are on, the air conditioning is on. It never occurred to us that somebody has to switch it off. Somebody is paying the money for that. Now when you leave your office, you're wondering, are the lights on? Is the air conditioning switched off? If an employee is thinking like that, for an organization that he's working with, he's already on the way to becoming an entrepreneur.
Hmm.
He's thinking like an owner.
Hmm.
So the moment you start thinking like an owner, you're an entrepreneur. Being in business is just incidental.
Yes, got it. So I don't have to be in business to be an entrepreneur. I can take up responsibility. That's something new for me also. For even all those guys who are working over there, if you take responsibility for your job, one day you will have those responsibilities that an entrepreneur has. I mean, an entrepreneur, quote unquote, that we call a guy who is in business, and it's just responsibility for everything around you.
Yeah, so without getting into semantics, what happens with responsibilities, you have your set of responsibilities in the company, I have mine. Sometimes you get very enamored with responsibilities.
Yes.
We need to move beyond responsibilities. Entrepreneurship is about taking accountability, not just responsibility. Am I accountable even for what you are doing? The moment I can start thinking that way, I'm an entrepreneur.
Got it. Great. That's powerful. That's something new for me also to learn from. And second question then, everybody out there who is an entrepreneur, according to you, what challenges does an entrepreneur face in 2018? Both the ones who've started off and those who will start their careers, whether it's a business or a job.
So it's a good question, Ashish. But hate to be contrarian on everything, but the challenges that an entrepreneur is going to face in 2018 are not very different from what they were facing in 2017.
Which one?
Or 16, or 15, or even 40 years
I want them to know.
So let's look at the major challenges. I think the first challenge is for an entrepreneur to ask himself or herself, what is it that I really want to do? There is nothing the market can throw at you. There's nothing which can be a bigger challenge than not knowing what it is that you want to do as an entrepreneur. So if my purpose is not clear, so the first question I need to ask myself is, why do I want to be an entrepreneur? And if that is not clear, that becomes my biggest challenge. And that's why I said 2018, 17, 40 years back, same. More to your question, I think people in 2018 need to be that much more clued on in terms of what are some of the changes that are happening around them. So there are new things that are emerging. There's artificial intelligence that's coming. There's machine learning, deep learning, a lot of stuff out there. And some of these are just concepts for a lot of us.
Yes.
But they're going to touch our lives.
They are, and they will.
In a lot of ways, they're already doing that. Right? If they are going to touch our lives, I think it's important, imperative, that we start asking ourselves, is my business adapted to the changes that are happening around me? Because if I or my business are not adapted to the changes happening around me, I'm going to get defunct very soon.
Oh, yes.
So, 20 years back, it used to take you a dozen years to get defunct.
That's what I was getting to, yes.
Today, you can get obsolete within a year.
Yes.
Right? So, I think that's the other challenge. How quickly are you adapting to stuff that's happening around you? And 3, I think, would be to just be able to get out of this whole clutter. So just about 5 years back, these many people were starting new businesses. Today, it's this big.
Yes.
How am I able to move beyond the clutter and get visible, not just at an individual brand level, but at an organization level? That's going to be the next challenge. And I think people need to be able to adapt to that.
So 2 things on that. One, how do I find what my passion or my purpose is? This is something that when we go live on our channels, a lot of people ask, especially the young guys and girls, how do I know what do I want to do? Because there are so many options. And second, then I'll ask you the question after this, because that's the next question.
Taking mercy on
because this is important. They're going to ask otherwise when they comment on any channel.
So, the easy answer is to just disappear for a while. Move away from the clutter and the noise. It becomes easier to figure out what your purpose is. But I understand it cannot be possible for everybody to do that. the point that we have so many options today is the challenge.
Yes.
So earlier, purpose didn't matter. When I was growing up, you had two options. You could get into engineering or you could become a doctor. And well, if neither of these worked, you could decide to go in the forces, unless that was your first choice because, you were patriotic. So very few options.
Correct.
People wouldn't ask each other what the purpose is. They would just do what option presented itself. Today, the average person has at least 100 options.
Yes.
It becomes that much more important to question yourself what your purpose is. And I think you can do that by blocking out some of the noise. So today, every young person there is on social media. A lot of times we end up getting influenced without realizing that we're getting influenced. So because you want to do something, I believe that I also want to do it.
Exactly.
It sounds exciting, it sounds challenging.
It's just the buzz that
It's the buzz.
everybody's doing it.
And there's no harm in that.
There
is no harm in that, let me clarify. But as long as that's what you really want to do.
Exactly.
So the first question you need to ask yourself is, and this is a good thumb rule there, if I had to do this for the next 30 years of my life, would I still be excited about doing it? If I had to get up every day in the morning at maybe 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whatever it is that you get up at, and stop my clock at say 7 and 8 in the evening, am I going to be passionate about doing this still? If the answer is no, then probably this is not what your calling is.
And that's it. That's the question. Like, that's the power question. Are you ready to do what you're thinking right now for the next 30 years? You'll have to adapt, you'll have to change, but will you be on this track and will you keep pacing, get defeated, get up and continue to do this? That's the question. Thank you so much. That's an important question.
Actually, just a clarification there. It doesn't mean that I have to continue doing what I'm doing for the next 30 years. It just means, so I may keep changing what I'm doing.
Yes, in that. I mean, if I'm a trainer, will I still want to do these things, help people, Of course, you'll have to, I think we'll have to adapt so much more than even what I can think right now.
So you may do it differently.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? So you're
else
seeing
I'll fall. If I don't change, I'll fall. So please ask yourself that question. We're gonna put that question up for you over there. And that brings me to the next question. Why is that? Maybe we've answered it halfway through, but I still want to know this. There are more opportunities today than before. There's more competition, but there's more competition because there's more opportunities. Why is that more entrepreneurs are failing today compared to, say, entrepreneurs who started 20 or 30 years back? In fact, even a father or an uncle who started with a small shop was an entrepreneur, took some money, took some guts, got out into business with a goal and made it happen. Why is it that? Like why are they failing?
I get it. So I think the straight answer to that is that more people are failing today. It's not a word that I like to use because you've not really failed at your business unless you decided to give it up.
And people do.
Right? You may be unsuccessful at getting the outcomes that you wanted, but as long as you're figuring it out, making changes and progressing forward, you've not failed.
Yes.
But going back to your question, if I imagine that a lot of people are failing today more than they were earlier, it's simply actually because there are more people wanting to be entrepreneurs today. So there's absolutely a larger number of people there who are becoming entrepreneurs, and therefore logically there are more number of people who are falling by the wayside. It's pure math. That's one.
Yes.
To your question on opening a small shop and then becoming successful, well, there are a lot of people who've done that, and they've succeeded not because they've opened a small shop or a small business. They've succeeded because they've brought to the forefront what an entrepreneur really needs to bring, which means the zest, the passion, and total ownership of what they're doing. Guys who are doing that today are also succeeding, by the way.
Yes, and that's what it needs.
That's what it needs. The other thing is that a lot of people today are getting into business, are wanting to become entrepreneurs because of the idea of an entrepreneur. It sounds exciting to say I'm part of a startup, especially a technology startup. That's very cool. So a lot of times when you get up in the morning, you just have this dream that
It's not cool.
you Mark Zuckerberg, with your face out there and stuff like that. So it's cool. A lot of people get into that, and if you get into that without too much of thought and without your purpose being clear, there's a higher chance that you will be unsuccessful at what you do.
Yes.
Really, those are the two reasons.
Absolutely. What inspires you to help entrepreneurs?
The entrepreneurial system is like this whole ecosystem. What you throw back into that universe, or rather what you throw out into the universe, is bound to come back to you. Okay. It's like if you and I were the only people who got lost in the forest. If I'm going to be thinking how I can be one up in you, very soon it's just going to be me. And one person against the wild there is not as healthy as two of us against the wild. So am I trying to create a cohesive ecosystem, or am I trying to basically set up a culture where it's me at the cost of others? Now if you plant that thought into your question, entrepreneurs succeed not just because of who they are by themselves. They succeed because there are other people around them to pull them up when they're falling. And the premise here is, if I'm doing this with a few people, there'll be a lot of other people doing this with me as well, and people who come after us.
True.
So really very selfish.
Our community, we gotta help each other out. But that's a very good example. I'm going to use that. That's good. All right. So a couple more questions for you. How essential, how important is it the support of your partner, your spouse, or your family when you're going on this journey? I'm talking about maybe people in jobs who want to be entrepreneurs, but especially about those people who are venturing out on their own, who will figure things out. They have this goal, they have this dream, they have this gist. How important is the support?
So it needn't just be your parents and your wife or husband. It could be your boyfriend and girlfriend also.
Exactly, yeah. Like your partner, anybody.
So many young people are becoming entrepreneurs today. I think it's very important. Two reasons. One, unless you're one of those rare people who is so self-motivated and sure about himself or herself that no matter how many times you fall down, you can pick yourself up. Unless you are that kind of person, normally people need somebody else to pick them up. And who can be more significant than somebody who's absolutely so close to you, and that can only be very close friends.
Yes. Family,
support structure, spouses, boyfriends, girlfriends, right?
Yes.
So, which is why you need them on your side. I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs who've got a great idea, huge passion, but fail because day in and day out when they go back home, they have a partner who's questioning them.
Yes.
And that weakens you.
Yes.
You need somebody who can stand by you and make you stronger. And it's only fair that they do it if they buy into your vision. So it's not enough for you to buy into your idea. You need to get others to buy into the idea as well.
Yes.
Others who matter. And that's why it's so important to have the support of your people.
And then two lessons over there, right? What I'm getting from you. One for you entrepreneurs, for me, for you, for all of us. It's our responsibility to share what we are doing with our family, your loved ones, your partner, your boyfriend, girlfriend. You need their buy-in, otherwise it's going to frustrate you. I know it's frustrated me previously. So it's important. Take that responsibility up. And second, if you are the person who has to support the entrepreneur, make sure you understand the passion that this guy or girl has. You have to adapt. Maybe when you started this relationship, it wasn't there, but now it's there. So you need to adapt. You need to change. And I request you that you think about it before you just burst out on this guy or girl who wants to be an entrepreneur. It's so important. Last question for you. 3 powerful tips that you can give to all of us, all the entrepreneurs out there, of if we want to become successful, not because it's cool, because we want to really do something, make a difference, have this goal. 3 things that we can utilize in 2018 and the coming next 2 years.
That's an awesome responsibility because, verily speaking, I don't think I'm the right person to be passing out tips because there's so many things that I've really not been able to do well in my life. But if I were to look at some of the learnings that I've had, one of the tips that I'd like to offer is believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, no matter who you are, where you come from, people are not going to believe in you. It's like somebody walking on stage and you see that the person is not confident about himself or herself. Even before they start talking, you've begun to doubt that. So believe in yourself becomes the first thing to do.
Yes.
The next thing is have your ears to the ground. Look, unless you have celestial vision or a crystal ball, you're bound to make mistakes, right?
Yes.
You can reduce the frequency of those mistakes if you have your ear to the ground and you're listening to people around you. Because sometimes people may give you feedback which could save your life. The third one is don't listen too much to people. Now I know this is contradictory to the second one, but most things in life are about balance.
Yes.
So is this. If you start listening too much to people, you will also listen to their own insecurities and their own fallibilities, and you can get influenced negatively. So it's like somebody saying, look, don't do this because you're bound to fail. And you start wondering, maybe I will fail. And without getting into psychology, the thing is that you start setting up self-fulfilling prophecies for yourself, which get you down. So do listen to people, believe in yourself, but like you are questioning yourself, question what other people are saying too.
Yes.
Don't give them more importance.
I think it's about knowing the difference between who really cares and is giving you a feedback, or even if they don't care but they're giving you an actual feedback, versus somebody who's just trying to put you down and doesn't care is saying.
Absolutely.
That's important, and I just want to thank you so much. These lessons are really valuable. If you are an entrepreneur, please watch this video again and again. Share with people, not because you're watching this on this channel, just because there is maybe somebody out there. This man's helped me. I've sat with him before. He's given me his precious time, and there are certain things that he's shared with me that's helping me right now, and I'm being honest about that. Is the reason why we are doing this interview. So I want to say again, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and I promise you I'm going to adapt these things, the new learnings that you've given me, and I promise you no matter what, we will not give up. We'll keep pushing forward.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure being with you.
Yes, thank you so much. Thanks again. Yes.